RJ. How are you?
The vibe is alive. Remember that? I love that. The
Today,
vibe is alive. Feeling good.
the vibe is alive. We got to keep that going, everybody. But today's going to be a very special training, very, very important. And it's almost there's almost a stigma around the conversation of protecting yourself from bad contractors. So I want to start first and foremost by letting you all know a few things. Contractors are an essential part of our team as real estate investors. It is not an us versus them type of world. We support their business, they support our business. It's like an ecosystem. We need each other. This is not an us versus them kind of thing whatsoever. Um, and we got to treat them like the valuable member of the team that they are. This is where a lot of new real estate investors kind of get off board. They kind of start this relationship with the contractor of it's almost like butting heads and kind of fighting, kind of off on the negative kind of like I want to try to squeeze you because you're going to try to squeeze me. And I'm here to let you know long-term success in this business is going to come from relationships with contractors, not this me versus you type of mentality. And we treat our contractors who have been with us for years like the family that they are. I mean, they're like a vital business family member here. So what we are getting into today is more so how to protect yourself from the bad contractors, because hey, there's bad apples in every single bunch, and we're running successful businesses over here. So that is what I wanted to clarify. Not all contractors are bad. They're essential to our business, and we need to have strong relationships with our contractors, but we also need to run a sound, profitable business. And that is what we are getting into today, is protecting ourselves from the bad so we can focus on the good, continue our projects moving forward. And I don't care if you're buying and holding, fixing and flipping, construction is a vital part of this real estate investment business.
Yes,
So that's
it
my
is.
that's my starter, RJ. Do you have feedback on that? Do you
So
agree?
yeah, I do. So currently, we at one point we're doing 20 to 25 a month rehabs, and that's rentals and flips, and and after we came out of the storm, and there were times where we broke even on rehabs, made a huge chunk on rehabs, but it all evened out to where 20 to 25 at a time, that's a lot. That's a lot. And we scaled it down a little bit because obviously now we have a portfolio. We're very picky with what we want to rehab. And quite frankly, a lot of the leads that come across our desk, we have so many buyers now that we'll flip the ones that we feel like can be a good profit for the company, and it doesn't need to be a long sales cycle for the cash conversion. And now that's just a fancy term for when I put a dollar in, how much am I going to get $5 back? Cash conversion cycle.
And how
right?
quickly? And how
So
quickly am I going to get it back?
so we're all about profitability here. And back then we were chasing a lot of vanity and I want to do 100, 200, 500 deals a year. All that shit doesn't fucking matter. What matters is how much are you bringing home? You're going to hear that a lot from me, not only in this presentation, but probably for the rest that me, is what are you really bringing home?
Yeah,
And
what's your
so
net?
what is your net? A lot of people that in our industry that are coaching and they're all about gross numbers and not really showing you hey, how can you really stay profitable with not running yourself down? How do you stay profitable with a small team? 5 to 10 going on at a time, that's still a lot. I don't want to do that many rehabs because it's just a lot of management going on. If you can't manage your numbers, you're going to be not profitable. We're going to show you how to stay profitable here in this presentation today. And it's all about being the, on top of, your contractors, being the A player. What is an A player? Someone that's proactive, somebody that has a game plan, not saying, hey, what do you think the game plan is? A lot of people fail that way. But I'm going to go step by step on how we do it. But I want to tell you that you can still be very profitable in this business, not doing these big numbers that everybody claims to be doing, right? Claims to be doing. But in reality, when the dust settles, they might be breaking even, or they might be in the negative. So how can you do this in a manageable and small team and not, sacrifice your family? We're going to show you how to do that. And so that's my thought in this. Same as Dave said, like your contractors are part of your team, crucial team member. Can't do the BRRRR strategy. You can't do this, high-end fix and flips. We don't do high-end fix and flips. Just not our cup of tea. There's a lot of people that are in this group and in other groups that might be doing that. We don't like doing that. We like to stay within the 30 to 50K rehab range where we can be in and out, because quite frankly, if we're going to rehab something, I'd rather keep it. It's a lot of work that goes into this, right? I'd rather keep the asset, to be honest with you. If I'm going to put in that much, we're going to try and keep the asset. Now, if we're going to rehab something and we're going to keep it as a rental, awesome. That's how you build this thing. That's how you build wealth. That's how you increase your net worth. That's how you start replacing some of your JOB income with some of the rental income. Okay, so anyways, this is super important. Please take notes. Please be interactive in our chats. There's probably some things that we can give away, our tools. So again, I have some things that I want to present as well as Dave. So I'm going to pass this back to Dave. Let's get right into it. It's 11:08. A lot of info that's going to be shared in here. A lot of you guys are already doing rehabs and you got your own system. This is our system. We're going to be transparent with you how we do it. And Dave and I are not construction guys. So you don't need to be this like, well, my dad worked in construction, so I don't have that, so I don't know how I'm going to rehab. I don't lift the hammer in any of these projects. I suggest that you don't do it either. If you're going to do your own rehabs, well, that's fine. I don't suggest it, because if you're doing the actual rehabs yourself, you're not going to scale. Even if you have a construction company, you shouldn't be in the business. So we're going to show you the system of how we're not picking up the hammers, how we find these contractors, what materials we use, how we bid out projects, all of this, so that you can do this as many times as you want. But we want to keep you guys profitable, right? So, Dave, you're sharing your screen.
Yes, sir. So just wanted to give a quick, everybody likes a good visual, right? So here's the deal. Why are we rehabbing properties? It's to add value to the property. We're buying discounted properties off market. This is what we train people how to do. This is what we coach people how to do. And we want to get these things dirt cheap for cash. And the way we're going to buy these things and get a great deal on it is we're buying them in their as-is condition. And then it's our job as a real estate investor to, after we buy the house, we acquire it from the motivated seller, and now we want to fix this thing up. I mean, unless you're wholesaling it, what we're talking about is construction, though. So why are you fixing it up? You're either going to fix it up to resell it for a profit, or what RJ just said, if you're taking all the risk and taking all the time to fix this thing up and manage a rehab, find a way to keep the property if you can. And RJ and I were having our coffee this morning, and we were discussing, where's the biggest paydays in this business come from? From cash out refinances. And this is the way it works, is you buy these things dirt cheap in their as-is condition, and then you fund the acquisition and the rehab, and then you do the refinance. And when you've added enough value from the construction that you've done, you can pull out a lot of cash. It's tax-free cash on the cash out refi. So I just want to give you an example. When you're fixing these things up, we fix them up nice, where you can't put lipstick on a pig. Right? We can't hire some crackheads and try to save a buck. There's an old lesson that RJ and I have learned many times, is pay now or pay later. we're not trying to shortchange our contractors. We just need a fair business relationship here. But if you go cheap on the front end and cheap labor and cheap materials and stuff like that, you're gonna have trouble selling the property or refinancing the property for a good number for that cash out refi. So this is just a quick example. I mean, this is, as RJ just mentioned, we don't do high end rehabs, but we're also not putting lipstick on a pig.
No.
So subway tile, the old gray and white scheme, this is going to get you by. This is going to get you by, everybody. And you can, essentially mimic this. You can, this is going to be recorded. It's going to be saved in the group. This is what we use, and we want to kind of keep it standardized and keep it systemized. Use the black fixtures, the white cabinets, the gray floor, updated doors. But this is just to give you a visual of essentially what we are doing after we acquire a property that we're going to fix up for a rental. And we don't do a ton of fix and flips, but these make really strong rental properties, so you can get that strong appraisal. So when we first find a contractor, I wanted to get into the welcome packet here a little bit, but RJ, Let's talk about finding a contractor first. So let's say you just closed a deal, or you're like looking at a deal. Where are you gonna what is your process in finding a new contractor?
Sure. So everybody, make sure you are networking with contractors way before you get the deal already purchased. Okay, definitely write that down. Be proactive. Here's where we find them. Okay, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards. You want to get up early in the morning and go to these places. Make sure you have a flyer or business card or old school, whatever, get a pen and piece of paper. Go and meet the contractors that are basically there I think they open at like 6 in the morning. Contractors that are there at 6 in the morning have their stuff together, meaning that they are organized, they're ready to get the materials, they know that they have the whole day to work, and they're ready to go. That means that they got up probably around 5 or 4:30 in the morning to get there early. Network with them, ask them, this is the conversation that I have. Hey, I do about 5 to 10 houses a month. We're fixing them up for fixing the rent or fixing to put back on the market to sell. I see that you're here. Are you, in a part of a crew? Are you the general contractor? And then wait for them to say yes or no. Pass out your business card saying, hey, are you at a job right now? Are you working right now? I'd love to check out where you're at right now to see, how you're doing work. So these contractors that are getting up and early, they're just organized, and you want to work with the ones that are organized, right? Go to Facebook groups. You can go to the Cream. There's the Columbus Cream. Tons of, painters, drywallers, electricians, plumbers, and there's going to be more. And it's just growing all the time there. So people, what they do is they go in and they post, hey, I need a contractor, plumber, electrician, and then all you got to do is just go in the search bar and type electrician, plumber. And you're going to find plenty of people that have been referred. Okay? Facebook groups. Number 3 is out in the field. So when you're driving around and you see dumpsters and these like white vans, pickup trucks, they got their little magnetic sign, Joe Plumber, or Bob Electrician. Go over there, introduce yourself. Right? This is the business. You got to start planting seeds. Don't do this after the fact. If you're going to be in this business for a long haul, you always want to find good general contractors, and I'm going to tell you why here later on. But other sources, Thumbtack, Home Advisor, they're already rated in there. To even be a part of these websites, you're going to need to have like references and proof of concept that you've actually done some work, right? So these are other places too. What we found is that a lot of times you're paying a little bit more for the ones on Home Advisor and Thumbtack, but again, it's all about the numbers on your deal. There's even services out there that I've found out recently. This is the power of networking and growing your relationship capital, is that there's contractors out there now that might charge a little bit of a premium, but they provide a really good service and don't require pay until the end of the project. Now, that's like a unicorn in this business. I say that because a lot of the contractors that we found, they're living week to week. And a lot of you guys that are watching this now in this live stream that have been, rehabbing for investors like Dave and I, a lot of our coaching students are contractors wanting to get into this business because they see the power of owning real estate. That can eventually, they can be the owners of their own business through this, because it frees up their time, it frees up more of their capital, they have monthly cash flow coming in. Anywho, this is where we find them. And there's many of other ways that you can go to your friends and family, you can go to other real estate jobs that are happening, and that's more out in the field, but this is where we find them. I'm ready to get into the next thing. Do you want to add on any of this, Dave?
No, not on finding them. Cool. I got other stuff, but keep going.
Now the next thing is bidding. So I'm telling you things that, where to find general contractors. That definitely happens up front, or way before you start buying properties. Like, you got to have these things in place so that you're not scrambling around, because when you buy the property, and if you're doing it the way that we show you with private capital or hard money, you have that monthly interest that you're going to be paying. Or if you have it accrued, it's still days and weeks that maybe go by if you don't find a contractor, right? So another process that you want to have done beforehand, because you're an A player and you're the one that's organized, is you want to have your bidding process already before you even buy the property. You want to, like, now at this point we can look at pictures and have a general understanding, not super exact, right? But we have a general understanding of what this place is going to need for rehab. And you got to have your internal numbers. Super important. Like, knowing the cost. This is our, this is one of them. We use several, but this is one of the most recent ones that we've used. Let me get this out of the way so I can show you. I got all these different screens with Zoom now. But this is like a example cost of what a clean out and demolition would be. A couple grand, right? And so as you're looking at pictures, you can check this off and be like, okay, 123 Main Street's going to need a clean out demolition, $2,000. It's going to need kitchen cabinets, all this stuff. All right, so it's going to be 11. Bathroom remodel is going to be about 6,500 if it's medium, right? So you go in here and you're pricing a kitchen, medium, large, small, right? We got to use a little bit of common sense here. Small, medium, and large. Like, sometimes when you are getting these pictures and you're talking to the person you're buying this from, or the inspector that you have hired to take a look at this, that's the stuff that you want to understand, And I'm not saying that this is like the end all be all. This is going to change, because as labor and cost of material increases, this stuff will change. This is a living and breathing document. Some of the pricing that we've had back in 13, 14, 15 obviously has changed. And I'm going to get to how you can stay up to date with this here after I kind of explain this. So there's trim work, 200, 300. Replacing hardwood floors, interior paint of a home, vinyl siding, all the way down to landscaping and miscellaneous stuff that happens in a bunch of these houses. For example, carpentry work, cement work, foundations, cracks, and all that, right? So knowing this going into the purchase, that the rehab is going to be around 30 or 40 grand. You can add a 10% contingency in your budget for anything that's unexpected, because something always happens in these projects. Even if you're super prepared, even if you have a contingency plan, something's going to happen. We've done thousands of rehabs. We know something's going to happen. Either stuff gets stolen, contractor gets taken advantage of when his team gets pissed off, steals your stuff. Is that something that you can control? No. Can't control people sometimes, even though you have all these pieces in place. But if you have that contingency, then you can then you can budget for it. But this is an example rehab, right? Our internal number is 50. That's all in. That's labor and materials. So now we go back into our formula and percentages, right? So here's what we do, okay? We got consulting around this. It's actually pretty accurate, and it allows you to get best prices for your projects. That 50K rehab, what we automatically do, if you guys want to screenshot this, is we take that budget and we knock it up in half, 50%, okay? So now we have, in this example, 25K to work with for just the labor, right? We want to negotiate the labor and control the materials. All right, because you're managing the GC. This is our model. Now, out of that 25K, that's what you want to have as a maximum allowable price for you, right, to negotiate. I take that number and I go
labor, right?
The labor,
just for labor,
just the labor, right? And I take 15% off of that. So what's 15% of 25K for labor? Anybody got that? Anybody looking at the comments?
Hang on, I got you right here, RJ. We got 25,000 times 15%, 3750.
3750. Now, you know, that equals what? Minus 25,000. That's 21.25. So this number right here, okay, this number right here, I'm going to work this number to some of the contractors that I have, the general contractors. So out of my pictures and bidding process, right, out of this bidding process and pictures, I'm creating a scope of work. I'm creating a scope of work. Does anybody want to see what an example scope of work would look like?
Yes.
Type in 1 in the comments. Let me pull up my dot loop here and show you an example scope of work on a rehab that's currently happening right now. So here it is.
Sean wants to see it. Isaac wants to see it. Abdi, we'll get to your question in a minute. Abdi's question, let me just address something real quick because I really do want to make sure this lands. Abdi's question is, do you pay your own material or they charge you including material? What RJ is doing here, the whole foundation of our system, is you got to separate the materials and the labor. This is how it's worked. Because what he's doing is negotiating the labor. That's what he's doing here. So he took his entire budget of 50K, divided it by 2. That gives us 25,000. So now he took the 25,000, shaved off 15% of that, leaving him 21,250.
This is for me to negotiate. Yep. So I'm going to take this example scope of work. Let's just say this is the rehab, right? And I'm taking this scope of work, exterior, new front door, backside door. It's just an example scope of work. This is a rehab currently that we're doing right now. Right? I'm taking this scope of work and I'm literally, this is definitely, it can get super granular, okay? Super granular, meaning, like, here, let me show you a different one, for example. Going back to my loops. Rehab. Here's one. Let me show you here's the scope. Let's see if this one's, okay. So general, clean out, change out flush mounts, 8, change out all switch plates, 2 boxes, change out all 2 boxes, drywall mudding, LVP flooring, bathroom, new toilet, 26, the tile in the shower, 77 square feet, bathroom, new tub. I added that in there. Just, one of the things that I reviewed it and I'm like, okay, we need a new tub. We can't refinish the tub here. Doorknobs, the amounts, like general interior, ceiling paint, wall paint, basement, mechanicals, hot water tank, down to the everything, right? Foundation, garage. So you're taking the scope of work and you're going to your general contractor and you're saying, hey, I even this is my target number. A lot of you guys in sales, right? I'll go in and say, can you do it for 20? Right? Why? Why'd I go for 20? Because this is the number that I want them to be okay with. It gives me some negotiation room. So I'm like, all right, can you do it for 20? Can you take that scope of work and do it for 20? And what I do also is I generally, my time frame on construction projects, it's about 1,000 a day. So I want to keep this scope of work for the labor at around like 25 days. I used to just be very strict and be like, oh, it's 20K, so it's 20 days. Again, contractors are your team members. Allow them to be successful. Give them 5 to 7 days extra because you never know what's going to happen in their crews or at the house itself. So I give them a little bit of wiggle room in there. But I hold them accountable because if they're late, and I'll show you in our paperwork, we do charge a late fee. Okay, so let's just say they say yes, I'll do it. Oh no, I can't do it for 20, but I can do it for 22. Well, can you do it for 21.25? And they say yes. Okay, great, let's do it. I'll give you, 27 days to, do the rehab. Then, and they're like, well, can I get an extra day? I saw that scope. My electrician won't be here until blah, blah, blah. Okay, I did 28 days. Fine. Now that 21,250 number, the labor number, now I know my materials. I have some wiggle room now. I can, it's typically around, when I see this, it's like 18 to 19K in materials, maybe even less, because if you're like me, I like to get stuff off Amazon now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on and getting good deals from Amazon. Sometimes you can get better deals elsewhere from wholesalers and of material, carpet, tile, all this stuff, right? You're gonna find that out by talking to your contractors, and they're like, you pay how much for this tile? I can get it over here, and it's a good material, all right? But now I have wiggle room on how I can save more money on this rehab, right? Instead of just going to like Home Depot. We still buy stuff at Home Depot, but what I'm starting to see is that there's just better deals on Amazon. So what do? You make an Amazon order, you get it shipped to the house, make sure that your contractors are there, okay? So anyways, this is the bidding process. I will answer any questions to your I'll answer your questions in the comments, but I'm gonna keep going here because this is important right here. This is like how you protect yourself and how you present to yourself that you're not gonna be taken advantage of because you have paperwork, you have lien waivers, you're asking for a W-9, you have your scope together, you have your design together, you have the schedule together, like you're organized. It leaves, in the beginning, Dave and I did not do this shit. We went to houses and, we're like, well, what do you think it needs? Right? That's the worst thing to do. We learn quickly, And the other thing, I'm going off on a little story here. The other thing is, no matter what, even if you worked with contractors for so long and this and that, the other, do not give up big lump sums of money to contractors. Just don't do it. Don't. Even if you're like, man, we've worked together for so long. Just don't do it. We had like a year and a half into this electrician that we were working with, and he got us for like $700. We never heard from him again. We slipped up.
And everybody, that's a small number, not to cut you off, RJ, but we, administer a group of, over 10,000 people in our local real estate group. I understand not everybody in this group is local to us, but every single week I get a direct message from somebody saying, "Oh, do you know this contractor? They owe us money, class action lawsuit." I have a standard reply, copy and paste. We don't get involved in people's disputes. You got to use your own common sense here. This is social media. Come on now. You know, we can't vet people out for you. But I have stories in my DMs, RJ, of people losing 50 G's, writing huge checks, court cases, this, that, and the other. So what RJ is saying is, let's use a little common sense and not give somebody a huge check up front. In fact, I wanted to share my screen here real quick, RJ, and just kind of share something about our welcome letter that we do. And that welcome letter right here just kind of gives a good little overview. As RJ mentioned, we're not getting everything from Home Depot anymore, but we do allow it in Home Depot. And this kind of gives them a rundown. It's like, hey, you know, go to Home Depot for the materials. We're going to pay for the items that you need. That's very important. And we're looking online and we're making sure they're not buying energy drinks and tools and stuff like that, because you'll never, you know, you're not here to buy tools for your contractors and your subs. It doesn't work that way. I gave you the design sheet. So we have the gray and white design, as I mentioned to you, or I showed you. I'll show you the beige design as well real quick, just to give you some ideas. You can go back and watch this. But yeah, sometimes we do that. We did this for a while, for years, and then we kind of got into the gray and white one.
Can I say something real quick? Let me say something real quick for this, guys and gals, on this live stream. You have to pay attention to what the market is bearing out there. How do you do that? You pull comparables. You know, you're looking at sales that happened within 120 days or 6 months, and you're looking at the rehab that they did for their property. That's how you're going to stay current with the design. So if you see something that's like, wow, that's sold for, this is like the top of the market here. Look what they did to their rehab. You're going to see the pictures. Was there subway tile? Were the cabinets a different color? Now, I'm not saying paint your cabinets the same color as them, but you want to make sure that your rehab is somewhat similar to what the highest price is selling for, so that when you go to appraise your property, the appraisal who's going to run the same comps is going to be like, did you update the countertops? Did you update the cabinets? Did you do some updates to the house so that you can get the top dollar? Because the most money, write this down, guys. The most money that you're going to make in this business is going to be from your cash out refinances, from the appreciation of your rentals that you bought 2 or 3 years ago or a year ago, whatever. And that is the most money that you're going to make. Okay? So why not get the most of that rental property or highest appraisal amount by putting certain things in your rehab, subway tile or tile in the bathroom, a tub surround and stuff like that, and like the black and white design, which is, I still see that today, but it could change in 6 to 8 months. So stay on top of it by looking at comps and what other houses are being sold for and what kind of construction they have in the inside, the materials that they're using. That what do they call that? Some people call it the boob light. We don't really use that anymore. We use the circular light that is a little bit flat, and or we use can lights. So anyways, Dave?
We got, it goes both ways as well. Eddie Jules in our comments right now. Yeah. What's up, Eddie? Eddie's great. He's
solid contractor,
a very quality contractor. Absolutely, running a solid business. And he says he's a GC and he had a reputable realtor / investor / cream member screw him out of over $20,000. A shady person could have any license you want. I don't care. It could be a realtor license. It could be a, contractor license. It could be whatever. I mean, there's a shady person's a shady person. And that is where some business acumen kind of comes in. We got to have common sense, and common sense is not always common practice at the end of the day. Eddie Jules saying quality contractors will not work without a deposit or draw schedule. So we do have a draw schedule here, RJ or Eddie. We're very big on the draw schedule. We do written agreements with everybody that we work with. What we're talking about is writing a huge check and handing it over to somebody. There's no business agreements in place. There's not. It's just like literally showing up to a house and stroking someone a check is what we're advising people to definitely not do. And we've done it. I mean, we were kids in this business 10 years ago. I could give you a list of names. In fact, I almost did, but it's like there's still pending court cases against a lot of people who are shady, and I'm not getting involved in all that. But what we're talking about, everybody, is just without formal agreements. We have the formal agreements. We have all of our contracts that we do. You know, as part of our coaching program, you get all of our contracts that have been refined and combed over from attorneys over the years and whatnot. But we sign legitimate contracts with everybody who works on our houses. You know, when Eddie's talking about, you know, chucking a truck and the crackheads and stuff like that, they're just as unprofessional as anyone. You know, they don't have like legit contracts. They're anyone who's just trying to do work on your house and get paid like under the table or not like clearly write out exactly what is going to happen. I mean, this is like, and I get it. It's sometimes it's when you're new. I don't know. I think sometimes new people are just eager to get started or whatever. But I wouldn't work with a contractor who doesn't have their own paperwork too. I mean, so it goes both ways here, everybody. We're investors and we have, you know, very formal paperwork and lien waivers and scope of work and draw schedules. All of this is highly documented, but we get skeptical of another contractor or service provider or somebody who doesn't have their own paperwork. It's like, are you running a business or what's going on? And this is just kind of the formality of this business, and it goes both ways. Is I just wanted to make the point. Sure. There's shady investors out there. Man, I can't tell you. There's so many people who borrowed money. I got lenders hitting me up, hard money lenders hitting me up. Can you help me track this Cream member because he ran off with $100,000? No, I can't help you. You know, I can't help you. I don't know who these people are. It goes both ways, but there's a certain level of professionalism and formality on both sides.
Yep.
Contractor as well as the investor side.
Yeah. So let me show you what we have here. Hang on a second. Let me show you here. So this is our paperwork. The documents right here, it shows you when you're getting paid. Invoices get sent in by Wednesday at 2. They get paid on Tuesdays. Sent in by 2 p.m. Monday. They get paid on Fridays. So guess what? Everyone wants to get paid Friday. Week by week, these most of our contractors live week by week, right? So clearly it states in here. So guess what we do? When it's time to close to like 48 hours to getting paid, we're either getting solid pictures, more than like just 5, you know, or a video of them walking through. I like to go in every now and then. Number one, I can create content while I'm at the houses for y'all. And 2, just keeps them on their toes, you know, just keeps them on their toes. But this is our independent contractor paperwork. Got to have this. And if your contractor that you working with has their own paperwork, review it. That's good. It's a good sign. So anyway, so this is the agreement. It basically shows you, hey, here's the scope. Here's, you know, I have it all in .loop. I use .loop. The scope of work has a construction schedule. In the first week, this is what I'm getting done. Second week, this is what I'm getting done. Third week, this is what I'm getting done. Right? It's got the lien waivers here. They do partials, and then at the end they do it. And this is like this is just your leverage. Right? I'm just here to tell you, like, sometimes you're not gonna work with the A construction company. You're just not. You're gonna work with maybe somebody that's coming up, B and C type contractors. Well, this is how to manage them. Because the A type contractors with the fancy truck and the amazing website, they charge more. You know, they're better off working with a homeowner. You're going to be providing volume to them, so you need to have some sort of a volume type pricing for those type of contractors. This is what it is. If you're if you're doing like commercial projects, yeah, you're gonna want high quality contractors there, right? That's fine. Just make sure that you have that in your budget. We're talking about single family homes where I'm not putting $30,000 into a kitchen rehab because I'm not going to do that. The market is telling me that I need to put this, and that into this, which is probably going to cost anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for the kitchen. That's all I need. The market is going to tell you what you need. So all of this, paperwork that I have here, the independent contractor paperwork, the hold harmless insurance, your W-9, the scope, the design. This is the design, or one of them, right here. The scope, all that stuff is outlined in our paperwork. We send it to them. It's the schedule, the lien waivers. It's how you protect yourself. The design and SKUs, it's right here. Now this changes a lot because, again, pay attention to your market. Maybe LVT floors aren't the thing in your market. You're seeing a lot of other type of flooring.
This is designed for our business, and everybody knows what we do. We are in the affordable housing business. This is our materials and what we're doing and our color schemes and stuff like that. Probably not going to be the best on some luxury home or some Airbnb that you're trying to do. This is for affordable housing, safe and affordable rental properties.
Yeah.
It's a notch above. We want people to feel good. This is what we're doing. A lot of rental properties. So you might be sitting back thinking it's like, well, I don't think subway tile's that cool. Well, that's okay because we're not living there. These are investment properties.
Yeah.
Right. Guess who doesn't? Guess who likes it? The appraisals. That's what we need. We need these properties to appraise. We're here to impress the appraiser, not the tenant, or our wives, for God's sakes. I'm sure if our wives walked through several of our rental properties, they would think some things are outdated or some things are not that nice. Doesn't matter. We're not here to impress them.
Yep.
We're here to impress them after the cash out refinance, after we put $350,000 tax free in the bank account. That impresses them, not the construction materials, everybody. So remember, this is for affordable housing. And, we got about 10 minutes left here. We got about 15 minutes left here, RJ. We got to kind of start winding down. I did want to open this up. Any questions you guys have? Again, we can only cover so much in 45 minutes to an hour. But we are here to produce value. And if this is something that you want us to continue training on the construction side, absolutely. We're happy to do that. This stuff we do every single day. And, a lot comes down to common sense, but common sense is not always common practice. We've been burned a lot. And if you do this business long enough, you're going to get burned on some level. And the same goes if you're a contractor for a long time, you're probably going to get burned by some crappy customers too. Everybody, this is life and this is business, but we're not going to let it. What we need to do is just protect ourselves and protect our business to the best of our ability. Make educated, data-driven decisions, and be as formal as possible with everything that we do. Adam, you're welcome. Isaac, you're welcome. Here we go. Are the pay schedule documents for interacting with GCs available to us? Adam has been to one of our workshops. So yes, Adam, you are a paid client of ours. So I'm happy to send you. In fact, I will be emailing you a whole folder here of all of our paperwork and whatnot. And then you can reply to that. If you're interested in go ahead.
I showed you guys that piece of paperwork. It's not rocket science, so you can go review this live. It's going to be here in our feed, and just create one, screenshot it like that. It's right there. It's very this first week, right? How our pay schedule works is this first week. This is what you're committing. I have our GCs fill this out because I'm going to check for that. And that's why I broke it down into 4 weeks in that example. 4 weeks of pay at, it's either 3 or 4 weeks. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's, you have this amount of time to get this scope of work done. This first week, this is what's going to be checked. And, you know, I show you the number of ways to check. You can check it yourself. Your general contractor can send videos, pictures, a lot of pictures of exactly what they did, right? Or you can have somebody on your team, maybe the real estate agent that's going to list it, or property manager that's going to list it, walk the property and saying, hey, can you just check this, right? Check this real quick to see if they got this done, right? This is the scope. This is what they said that they're gonna have this schedule, and you do check it on a Wednesday, and then on that Friday when you release payment, everything looks good. There's no discrepancies, amazing. If there are discrepancies, then that Wednesday communicate. Like, I'm checking off that you got the drywall already started, but there's 2 rooms where it didn't get started. So I know you don't want me to withhold pay, but just get that done and send it to me on Thursday. They will get it done Thursday because they want to get paid Friday. Okay, one last thing too that I want to mention.
Any other burning desires? Sean, you're welcome. Isaac, you are welcome. Adam, I've already emailed you. If you are someone who's looking to take your real estate business to the next level, everybody, no fluff. We brought in, just from our wholesaling business, this doesn't even count the fix-ups that we're doing, the cash out refinance. Everybody, I'm here to let you know the buy and hold business is the most profitable business, but you got to be patient with that one. That's the get rich slow program. But we're doing a ton of refis right now. But just the wholesaling and the novation business, we got $100,200. So we broke yet another month. We're happy. We got another 6-figure month here. And the vast majority of our team, everybody, is virtual. They're not even here in the US. We're going to teach you how to build a flipping machine, a buy and hold business, a long-term investment strategy, keep the cash coming in, off-market deals, how to get these deals in contract right over the phone. Not only does RJ had mentioned he's not swinging hammers, he's not even really, we don't even have to inspect these properties. The way that our house flipping business is, our wholesaling and novation business, guys, we're not leaving the office. And you're going to learn to do this as well. Bring in 6 figures monthly. And then you're going to have all the resources that you need for the construction management for your buy and hold portfolio. This is what we teach. We're buy and hold guys at the end of the day, but we got to keep the revenue coming in from the quick flip stuff, which is wholesaling and novations. You keep the revenue coming in from that, because the buy and hold is a get rich slow business, but it's a get rich forever business. So if you guys are interested, you know where to find us. Hit us up, just send us a DM, reach out to Rula. Rula is our enrollment specialist. He works with many of you, and we'll get on a call. Our flagship coaching program, it's called Launch. It's around $10,000. And once you're in for life until you're successful. So you're going to be on the phone with us. We just opened up a second call. So we do calls on Mondays and Fridays with you. And we are getting into every aspect of your business. Lead generation, lead conversion, dispositions, answering questions, helping you with your rehabs, property management.